What's up, everybody? We are live once again from Shields Pizza on Telegraph Road in the center of it all, Southfield, Michigan. Welcome to another installment of the LTU Football Coaches Show. I'm Lorne, joined as always with the man in charge, Jeff Duvendeck. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I know you're doing great. We got a couple of players who are with us here tonight. They are going to join us very shortly. All right, so Lawrence Tech is fresh off a 62-0 drubbing of the University of Pittsburgh's club team. It was the Panthers' first game of the season. We will throw that out there. They had low numbers on the sidelines. We'll throw that out there. And they were on the receiving end of an onslaught of Blue Devil bruisers. There are 99 guys on the LTU roster, and Pitt had 99 problems on Sunday. And from the moment they hit the field, if you made it out alive, that wasn't one of them. So Lawrence Tech's this is the fun stuff. Lawrence Tech's 3-0 start matches the program's record for consecutive wins set back in 1939, 1940, and 1946. 62 points tops the team record for points in a game set earlier this year versus Oakland just a few weeks back, in which they put up 53. If they'd have played 4 quarters, who knows what the end result would have been. So I know 72 was kind of the goal, being it had been 72 years since they played a game. But now that you've had a chance to soak that one in, granted the competition maybe was not what you guys had hoped it would be, what did you learn about your team on Saturday?
Well, I thought we got a lot better in special teams. You know, we had 5 returns for touchdowns. Our kids were really physical. We got down on kickoff several times, tackled them inside the 20. Gibby was doing a great job with placement, and then our guys were running with effort and speed and tenacity to get down there. And then on the return side, like I said, we had 5, 3 of them called back. Obviously, we got to eliminate the blocks in the back and things like that, or late hits and stuff. But just to see that execution is exciting to us. Yeah,
it seems like, for whatever reason, it seems to be record high hot temperatures when we suit up at home. But talk about, but it was affecting both teams out there. Talk about how the way, and I think it's a testament to kind of the shape these guys are in, and obviously the attention to hydrating, all that you guys do, working, your depth in. Talk about how that worked for you, how these guys handled that.
Yeah, our guys, we've been pushing to be the best conditioned team in the nation. So, we condition after every practice. As you guys can see, post-game, we condition after games. So we're putting in that work. Those guys are putting in that work. They're buying into that belief that we're going to be the best conditioned team in the country. And, you've seen it in multiple games. Even our road win over Wisconsin Lutheran, who had matched us with numbers, actually had more numbers than us.
Okay.
You could see their body language in the second half become defeated, and ours start to get stronger.
Yeah, that is a huge testament to what you guys, and also to the kids buying in.
Yep.
Because obviously it takes 2 to tango in that result. I do want to say that it seemed to me that the chemistry from the unit now, the guys are having fun. The coaching staff is obviously, looks like you guys are working together, and it seems like whatever you're kind of throwing against the wall is working in terms of strategy and play calling and that nature. But I would say that it's always recruiting season, so I'm sure you guys are now out there looking for the next set of Blue Devils. What has been the reaction to living rooms when you guys are in there, now that people can see you guys actually have a squad?
Well, we've had several guys on campus for games. We've been communicating with several others on the phone, via Twitter, all that stuff. So they're excited about what we're building. They can see that we're building a championship program. They can see the administration is backing us. They can see the atmosphere that's being created on Lawrence Tech's campus. So I think all the recruits are excited about that. I think this is just going to add to the talent level that we can add to this team the more success we have, the better recruits we're going to bring in, and success breeds success. So, competition breeds success. When we have better talent, the harder we have to work to stay ahead of them.
Personally, I'm usually out every Friday night shooting a football game, a high school football game somewhere. People are coming up to me and mentioning Lawrence Tech and talking about it and kind of feeling that energy, that vibe that's happening out there. Obviously, when you have lopsided wins, people are excited about that. We like winning football in this town. Yeah. Wink, wink, Detroit Lions. So I always got to throw in a jab, it's all good. All right, so one of the things that we're going to do here every week on the podcast is we are going to kind of show you some clips, and Coach can talk about some of these clips in terms of breaking them down a little bit. We can repeat them, and we will also bring in some guys that we have here inside of Shields Pizza on Telegraph Road here in Southfield. We'll have them come up, some of our players of the game. We'll talk to them, and we can show some clips there. So what we're going to do is kind of do a little bit of a game recap, talk about some of the notes that are most noteworthy of what took place on Saturday versus the University of Pittsburgh club team, and we're going to run clips. So first off, what I want you to do, Kevin, I want you to run clip number 4. This is the interception from the first play of scrimmage by Justin Knott. And you can feel free to jump in.
So right here, they started out with a little trick play, a little reverse pass. Defense did a great job of being disciplined, staying to their responsibility, trusting their teammates to get their job done with the run game. And you can see Justin stayed back in his coverage zone and made a play on the ball and made a great pick and got us some momentum.
The defense held Pitt to -5 yards of offense for the entire game. That is impressive. LTU scored on 3 sides of the ball, all 3 sides of the ball, 4 offensive TDs, 2 defensive TDs, 2 on special teams. I want you to run clip number 7 right now. This is the TD from Kolka to Higdon. This was a 13-yard out. We can go ahead and roll it.
Kolka sees here that we have man coverage and sees their safety locked up on Higdon, and that's going to be a mismatch most of the time. So put it out there where just Kayvon could get it, and Kayvon did a good job of stemming his route, threatening vertical, and sticking him to the outside right before he made his break to the corner.
One of the guys here tonight is Kai Otero. He was the running back, had a great game, had some explosive plays. This is one of them. I'd like you to run clip 8. This is the 39-yard TD run. And again, guys are trying to not – go ahead and roll it. Guys are trying to, catch up with him, but he is just on a mission.
Yeah, Kai put some good work in this offseason to increase his speed and strength, and he showed it on a couple runs today or Saturday.
Yeah.
And there you can see him get the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Big boy, but explosive outside. And again, your lines. One of the things, obviously, the unsung heroes, the offensive linemen, the defensive line. Talk about your trench play right now.
They're playing. Our D-line is playing great. We're holding teams to, I think, 13 yards on the ground, rushing.
Absurd.
So and I think we had, I don't know how many sacks we had this weekend. Tommy's here with us. I think he had 3 himself.
Yeah.
They're getting after the quarterback, and we did that without blitzing. So it was all the front 4 getting after the quarterback. And then offensively, we've had a 100-yard rusher the past 2 weeks. So I think we're getting it done on both sides of the ball in the trenches.
No doubt about it, and that's where you win and lose games. I can tell you that special teams, as you mentioned at the top of the show, was a big part of what took place on Saturday. And that, again, for the fans that were there. And, again, how many fans were there? What was
We had just over 2,000.
Yeah, over 2,000 fans for, a game that's not homecoming, that's not the opener. People wanted to come out and really support this team. They're kind of feeling that buzz, that energy. 5 returns for touchdowns, including the opening kick. 3 were called back, unfortunately. But let's run clip 1. This is Kendall Williams, and it was called back, but it was a 93-yard kickoff return. And, again, guys seeing the field in open spaces and really trusting their blockers and getting.
Well, this is one, our kickoff return has been 1 block away from a touchdown the past couple weeks, and we knew we were going to get one. We got a couple explosive returns back there with Kendall and Kayvon, and then even their backups with Cam, the 2 Cams. But, Kendall's explosive. He's got great vision. he saw it there. We made great blocks. I think we had about 4 or 5 guys on the ground from knockdown blocks. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. You were doing a lot of chest bumping.
I was tired by the end of the game.
I bet you were.
Jumping takes a lot out of you.
Exactly. I mean, you had some good vertical there early. By the end of the game, yeah, you were just kind of
that credit card vertical at the end.
Exactly. Absolutely. So. Kevon Higdon had a huge game, did very well, and we talked about special teams. I do want to run clip 3. This is Cam Mitchell. We'll talk about Kevon Higdon next. This is Cam Mitchell, and this was the ensuing pit drive and a 77-yard punt return. And again, so many guys getting in on the action. Go ahead and run clip 3.
Well, our special teams coordinator, Coach Williams, just walked in. He's been really trying to emphasize finishing blocks and playing with championship effort. And we got a lot of guys holding blocks for quite some time on this play here. And then Cam is a long strider. He gets, he's got good speed, a little bit deceptive. And saw the field really well, made a nice little cutback and took it to the corner of the end zone.
And the key is, it's so hard. And you see this at every level of football to not get a block in the back or a hold, because you're doing your best to try to free up space. So that's just a work in progress. That's just something you guys have to continually run and preach, and that's the challenge.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Working on it.
Yeah, I know you are. All right. Kevon Higdon, we talked about a pair of TDs receiving. He had a punt return. He leads Lawrence Tech right now in all-purpose yards. Let's run clip 2, which is the Kevon Higdon 43-yard punt return for a touchdown.
So Kevon, we've been talking about him being explosive. He's got great speed. He hits all his cuts here with good speed, and then he finishes. He shows his power. He's not a really big guy. He's about 165 pounds, but he shows some power there at the end and finishes strong and got a 6.
Yeah. He was nicknamed Hollywood there by the broadcast team there after that powerful highlight, but. I'm the only Hollywood here. So,
I think highlight Higdon, right?
Highlight Higdon. I like that. I like that. All right, so defense. Defense was the story. Granted, the offense, the defense put the offense in such great field position. So 14 tackles for loss in the game, double-digit tackles for loss in every game this year. Let's run clip 6. This is one from Tommy Larson, one of his 3 tackles for losses in the game. Let's run it again. Go ahead and roll that again.
Yeah, we got kind of quick clip there.
Yeah, there it is.
So you can see his get off the ball here. Our Coach Davis really emphasized getting off the ball, burst off the ball. Tommy's got relentless effort. He plays 100 miles an hour all the time, and you can see him getting off the ball. Tackle can't keep up with him. He's just got the corner, and it's over. I honestly felt bad for their quarterback at one point. In fact, I think at one play he ran out where we were kind of sitting on the sideline, and he just kind of gave us a look like, just end this game, man. It seemed like your guys were 2 steps in the backfield before he could even think for a second. Exactly. Yeah, they were, and we have. We're rotating a lot of D linemen, so they're playing. They're fresh all the time, and they all play with great get off. They're all going 100 miles an hour, so it's great to watch that. And we talked about earlier, that's where you win games, is in the trenches. So great to see our D line having success. Yeah, 62 points is a new program high, averaging 48.2 points per game. At this point, what we want to do is bring in one of our MVPs of that particular weekend. So why don't we start with Kai Otero. So Kai, why don't you come on over here, take a break from what you're eating. Please welcome Kai Otero to the mic. All right, so welcome to the podcast, and you guys are a few games in now to the season. This kind of new experience for you, college football. Tell me how you feeling. Obviously you guys are on a high from winning and everything, but just in general, getting used to the university, education, and football. How you holding down?
Well, I think that with our year of being here, a year of experience, I think that helped a lot with understanding. When the first class came in, actually we got acclimated for this year. When it comes to understanding college football, it's completely different than high school football.
Right.
Responsibility and accountability is very high compared to, where you are in high school. And like Coach was always saying, like, you used to be the guy in high school, well, everyone here is the guy that they used to be. So competition is high, and even then at the same time, we always got preached that it's us versus us, but then at the same time, we understand to come together as a team. But overall, the experience has been great. This school is great, coaches are great, and I couldn't be more grateful for being here.
All right, a man with soundbite quality responses here. I like that. So let me ask you, Coach, where'd you find this guy?
Out of Florida. We were on NCSA, I believe, is the recruiting website, and came across Kai and got a little confused early in the process because they had 3 different names. So it was Antonio Otero, Kai Otero, and Antonio Mackay. So I was like, I don't know which one I'm recruiting right now, but glad we signed all 3 of them.
As long as it's on 3 personalities.
Yeah, glad we signed all 3. But we got the off-the-field personality, the on the field, and the on the mic, as you can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a natural.
It's a natural, of course. He's got swag too, so the hair and it all, it's all working, man. It's all working. But talk about just the way that he has taken his approach every day to the football field.
Yeah, from last year to this year, he's one of our more improved players. He put a lot of hard work in last spring and then this summer, and you can really see it paying off. And we mentioned him as the offensive MVP. He was also our scout team offensive MVP, which doesn't happen very often that they get to do that. But our defense complimented him all week on how hard he was running, and then come out Saturday and he's running hard and putting his shoulder down and running people over. So it pays off.
So last year, obviously was, all you guys could do was practice, and all you're doing is hitting each other. And I'm sure on and off the field you're hitting each other because that's all you're dealing with. So what was it like just to actually step out there a few weeks back, great crowd on campus, and to actually get out there and play for real?
It was actually breathtaking. I couldn't really imagine anywhere else I would want to be. In that moment, I just thought I was crying because I was like, all that work we put in, everything, especially how much you love the game and how much you put into it, that it finally paid off to the point where you're standing in front of people. But then, I was more proud of my brothers because we all made it through. There was a lot of complications, a lot of things, when it came through the season, and a lot of doubt because, we thought we would never get to this point because of, just how hard things have been and, spring conditioning and stuff like that. Right. So we were all just like, it's never gonna start. And then when it started, it just, a lot of us just brought tears to our eyes because, we were like, we worked so hard for this, and finally be able to see it come to fruition is the best thing ever.
Well, the interesting thing is you guys come in and you're a group of 40 or so, and slowly, it starts getting bigger. You know what I mean? You're getting to 50 and 60 and 70 and 80, and you've been putting in all this work, but, college football is what it is, and there's you may lose that opportunity for whatever reason. So it's one of those things that you guys continually have to get better. You can't rest on your laurels, or somebody's going to take your spot.
Exactly. Especially what we've been preached through all this whole year. We already knew this was going to happen. A lot of spots might be taken, things might be happening, but then that should be a motivation. And what Coach always told us, especially over camp, was, be comfortable with being uncomfortable because, you're going to be in a lot of positions where you may not like where you're at or things like that, but then it's all about opportunity, especially in college football, and how you take your reps and how you seize that opportunity is the best thing. And that's also, obviously, it shows a lot, and how you react to a situation. So whether, if you lose your spot, then, just work hard. And then when you have your spot and climbing up the depth chart, don't get comfortable where you're at. Don't get complacent because, someone is always out there better or more hungry than you, and you want to make sure that you tell yourself every day, this is my spot, and I'm going to keep it and take pride in that spot.
Yeah. He currently goes by Kai Otero. That's the name we're using right now. Could change tomorrow. So, but finally, obviously, college football is your vehicle right now, but you are getting an education. So what is it that you're studying? I'm studying game art and art design. So I'm doing a lot of 3D modeling for like virtual things and virtual video games and stuff. So that's what I'm studying right now. You know that at some point we're going to try and really help the school create a real competitive esports team. You all about that? I used to play esports a lot, but I didn't really play because of football and school and stuff. So I've been really focused on more on that. But I sometimes play video games here and there. Just get my mind off of things. All right, good deal. All right, well, he is Kai Otero. Thank you so much, man, for joining us. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. Fantastic game, 108 yards, TD long at 39 on the ground. Okay, who we got next?
Tommy Larson.
Yeah, Tommy Larson, come on out. Give it up. As you can see, he dressed for the occasion, so we appreciate the formality here. But no, Tommy, so first off, tell me where you're from.
Oh, my bad.
It's all right. It's all good. Tell me where you're from and how you learned about Lawrence Tech football.
I'm from White Lake, Michigan. It's about 30 minutes from here.
Yep. Where'd you play? Did you play at Lake?
I played at Waldeck Northern.
Oh, at Northern. Okay, it's
Yeah.
like 3 right there. So,
Yeah.
all right.
And what was the second
Oh,
question?
and I just how did you end up connecting here with Coach in LTU?
Honestly, I met Coach McEwen. I didn't even get recruited by Duve that much, but I met Coach McEwen at a recruiting thing at Waldeck Western, and he came up to me and he's like, "So we're Lawrence Tech, we're starting a new program." I said, "Okay, I'll consider it," because I was looking in other places at first. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then finally got me up on a
Be
visit.
honest, always.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he got me up on a visit. Did the whole tour thing, met all the coaches, and honestly, what I really fell in love with was the coaching staff. I could see from the very first impression that they will care about you, they will take care of you, and they will be hard on you and push you to be your best. And honestly, that's what really intrigued me and really made me happy about what I was getting into. Because at first, I didn't really know what to think about college football. I was just confused about it, how's it going to go? Is it going to be like high school? Am I going to survive this camp? I was pretty stressed about that, I'm not going to lie. But that's pretty much it, He recruited me, I went on that visit, and it's all been going from there.
Right on. Did you even know what Lawrence Tech was?
I did actually, because a couple people,
champs.
yeah,
Exactly.
and
I know, you can say it.
a couple friends of mine are alumni,
Right.
but not
Cool.
friends, my brother's friends, but yeah.
Right on. So
Yeah.
you had 6 tackles, team high, 2.5 sacks, three tackles for loss in the last game. What position did you play in high school?
Defensive end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're right where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Okay, yeah. Talk about the way that your unit, and I'll say it as a unit, kind of your front four and the linebackers and everything, how you're playing right now and how you guys you feel the progression is from game to game, because obviously it didn't start that great against Wisconsin Lutheran.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I can't.
I did not know that.
But honestly, it's just working every single day with honestly one of the best coaches I've ever had, Coach Davis. I've never met a coach that has never he pushes us every day. Every single time we go in Indy, it's all work.
Right.
Obviously he's hard on us and he's cool with us too, but we've progressed so much as a team. I remember the first practice was at the 1st of August, 31st of July.
Yeah.
It was everybody was just lost, and nobody really knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But since then, it's just so much progression.
Yeah.
Everybody's working as a unit, and that's why. What are we holding the offense to? 13 yards or something as a defense?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
you
phenomenal.
don't really hear about that.
No,
so.
you don't. And you guys got to really credit, again, coaching, the depth that you guys have, that you can do that, so you can take a spell, come out, and somebody's going to get the job done.
Yep.
Would you say that this is such a unique situation because there are no seniors on this team?
Yeah.
In terms of the leadership, how you guys are choosing who is going to be your vocal, champion in order when you guys aren't playing well. Is that a shared role? Is there a basic group of guys now who are the ones that kind of can lift that need to be, or is it something that every game somebody else might step up?
Yeah, honestly, since there's no seniors, it's kind of a free for all. Whoever steps up and uses their voice and uses their hard work and ethic to push all their teammates. I think that those are the guys that really help us progress and help us work hard during practice. Because when you don't have seniors, it's kind of hard to find a leader, but obviously the kids from last year, they're mostly our leaders. They've been here, they've been through playing no games to just practicing. I mean, that's a lot of adversity to go through, especially if you love the game of football that much. I mean, not playing any games, that sounds brutal. So I think those guys are definitely our vocal leaders. They're loud, they're full of energy because they haven't played a game in a year. Before that, Oakland University, 2 years actually because of high school. So I think it's probably generally them, just because of how much built-up energy they've had from not being able to play the game of football, at least not play a game. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, these guys are stepping up real quick before I let you go. Number one, are you in the new dorm?
I am.
The brand new dorm? How's life on campus?
I think it's fun. I mean,
you have unique things. I can't even tell you how many people had lived in the dorm before I got in mine. You know what I mean? Over the years, it was horrific. You guys have brand new state-of-the-art facilities.
Yeah, it's nice. I love it. It's clean. It's not. It's just nice.
Yeah. They are sweet. If you get a chance to check it out. What are you studying? What is it?
I'm electrical engineering. Yeah.
So you're going to get yourself set up really well, my man.
Yep, hopefully.
You're in a good spot.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, well, let's put your hands together. He is Tommy Larson, the defensive MVP from the last game. Anybody else you want to bring in tonight?
Connor Grobel's already.
All right, Connor Grobel is our special teams MVP. Let's bring in Connor. We got to show some love to the kickers.
Yes, sir.
Right? 2 of 3 field goals, 8 for 8 on your extra points, 14 total points in the game. So congratulations on that. It seemed like this was the week that kickers missed everything. You look at all the games and guys are getting cut left and right, so you never know. You might have a future in doing that. But where did you grow? What's that?
Not missing. Yeah.
No,
Future and
no, I mean a future is good because the other guys are missing. But I will clarify.
Thank
you.
Yeah. So Connor, where'd you grow up?
I grew up around here, close, I guess, Berkeley, Michigan.
Yeah, that's real close.
So like 11 in Coolidge.
Yeah. How did you get recruited?
So recruiting, I was kind of like talking to some other schools, but I actually reached out to Coach Stu after I heard an ad on the radio that a team is starting here.
Exactly.
My dad and his older brother had both graduated from LTU. It's treated our family very well. So,
well, you have an interesting perspective because I know people too who are old LTU guys, and it's funny where you're going around and I will talk about Lawrence Tech football and people be like, "Well, I went to Lawrence Tech." It's amazing how many there's like 40,000 alumni just in Southeast Michigan alone. What do they think about this whole thing?
So obviously my dad is pretty excited.
Yeah, right.
But like you said, a lot of people know about it, so
they just must be so they probably can't believe it.
Yeah, I think for a lot of the older alumni, it's different because they haven't seen
anything.
What is campus life at LTU?
Right.
What is a sporting event like?
Yeah.
For them, it was just show up to class, go home.
Yeah.
I think so. That's probably what they're shocked about on the larger scale more than anything.
Yeah. For the longest time, it was known basically as Larry Tech because it was all dudes, basically, and it was a commuter school. I mean, that's what it was.
It was.
And again, almost like a glorified community college, except for specialties like architecture and engineering.
Yeah.
That was kind of what it was for the longest time. It is no longer of that ilk. There's 4,000 students there now. They've got 4 dorm facilities. Going to have to build another one. I think 26 varsity teams, something along those lines in terms of athletics. Coach, talk about obviously your special teams is kind of what we're talking about because it was so big. But again, the importance of having someone that you can depend on when you need it, because there are going to be games this season. I know it's hard to believe right now that you're going to need this guy to come through in the clutch.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal this year. Another one of our most improved guys from a year ago. And even from week 1 to week 3, we talked about in week 1 he wasn't getting a ton of height on his kicks. They all went through, but we needed to get more height, so less ability to block them. And he's done a great job of working on that and correcting that, and really, in his respect. He does it himself. We don't have a kicking coach, so he guides himself. We have our special teams coordinator, but none of us really know how to coach the kicker. So we can give little tips and stuff here and there, but he does a lot of research to find different drills that he can work on, drills to make himself better. So Connor does a good job with that stuff.
Right. Well, talk about, just before we wrap up, just quickly what you're seeing. You're someone who is going to, obviously has to pay close attention to the game, but you're not in all the plays. What are you seeing in terms of how your teammates are responding to coaching and and obviously the play on the field speaks for itself right now, but just kind of the overall chemistry of this squad as you guys embark on this, what's called the reboot season.
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that because, like, I do have kind of like a different perspective than everybody. So, like, a big thing that I always notice is, like, the energy. Like, right away, I do my warm-up, and then I come back, and I just sit there and kind of observe, to be honest.
Focus. You're focused.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, I can notice this year, like, tenfold from last year that, like, I feel like people want to learn more. There's a lot more incentive, as in playing time, just being blunt. And I think it's going pretty well. We can have some times where it's like a little bit less focused, but you know, as a whole, for how long our team's been together, I think we respond exceptionally well to any sort of like training, anything like that. Ears are always open. You know, we want to work. Sometimes it might not be that clear, but we always want to.
And for you OGs who've been here from the beginning, you guys just have to be pinching yourself that, you know, it's almost like this couldn't be any better right now. We are just having a blast and dominating and staying healthy. That's huge.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, pinching yourself, like on the first away game to Wisconsin, like when we got off the bus and we stepped onto a field in Wisconsin, I was like, I'm living the dream right
Yes,
now.
you are.
It really doesn't get any better than this. This is what I wanted since I was 4. So.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What are you studying?
I'm a mechanical engineering student.
All right. So you're again, climbing the path. What did your dad do? Graduate?
He was mechanical engineering.
Oh, there you go. So it runs in the family. Hey, it's a good life, man. It's a good life. Lots of job opportunities for mechanical engineers. There are a lot more degrees you can get at Lawrence Tech besides engineering. These guys just happen to be the smart ones. There's over 100 degree programs. So once again, Connor Grobel, man, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, quickly before we get into a preview, I want to bring over Coach Nate Williams. Come on over here for a second. We got a special clip I want to roll here from the post game of Saturday's 62-0 win. Have a seat. Welcome here, Coach. And for those in the high school game who maybe remember Coach Williams from his days at Flint Carmen Ainsworth, you were there for a long time, right?
7 years.
7 years, yeah. And obviously the program's doing, really well right now. And you left it in good hands, and they seem to be doing their thing. And it's always great when you get out on the recruiting end to be able to relate to guys here in the state of Michigan. That first recruiting class was so unique because nobody really knew who you were. So you kind of reached out through a lot of the channels that you used before. Now I know you guys want to focus, I'm sure, on a lot of metro area guys, west side guys from all over the state to come and play here. But why don't we roll the clip real quick of what was promised he would do. And I'll tell you what, when we were there, I didn't think this was gonna happen. I didn't know if you were gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, that was. What'd you think of the technique there, Coach? I'm asking you.
I was impressed for our age. I think they used to be a little bit cleaner than that. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good for the first one in 4 years.
A little more height, whatever. But hey, man, you got it done. You did it. It would have been really embarrassing if you didn't, and I would have showed it even if you hadn't made it. So.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, you made it. Real quick, and then we're gonna preview this week's game, and you can chime in on some of that too. But your experience so far here with this program, and please say, please tell them what you coach and what you're responsible for.
Okay. I coach the special teams and linebackers.
Okay.
Which two of us work together with the linebackers.
Yeah. What's the experience been like?
Oh man, it's really been awesome. The kids have been great. They're hungry. They're looking to do something special, and then the staff. I always come and talk to Coach Duve because I said, man, it's a great staff. It's a great, just a group of guys that want to do something that's never been done before. Really, in my eyes.
Yeah.
So it's just great to be a part of it, and to be out of football for 4 years and to get back in it is really no better way to get back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk quickly about the game we've got coming up this weekend because we've got Eastern Michigan. This game is going to be at Eastern Michigan. Going to play it on the gray turf. at Reinerson Stadium. Eastern was just as the club team. We're not playing the D1 team. They were just 1-7 a season ago, but they're already 2-0 coming out of the gate. They had a matchup against the Battle Creek Assassins to open the season. Just won a close one, 13-8 last week. Traveled to Chicago to take on the Ramblers of Loyola, and won pretty convincingly, 31-10. From what you've been able to see so far, talk about what you expect to take place this weekend.
Well, we haven't really seen anything so far.
Okay.
They didn't want to trade film, so we're going into this one blind as well. So this will be our last blind game that we play. From there on out, we'll be able to prep a little bit more like we would in a college football program. But
so how does your approach change from when obviously you can see what a team does?
Usually our focus is on us anyway, so it doesn't change a whole lot, but we might be able to pick certain matchups that we want to expose, or if they have different areas that are their strengths, we might want to focus a little bit more of our practice on that stuff. So, defensively, if they have a strong run game, we might focus a little bit more on that. But offensively, if they got a good pass defense, we might try to find some weaknesses in that to expose those and complement the run game.
Well, what's interesting is that it puts you in a unique position. Instead of working on what their weaknesses are, let's just build on our strengths. You know what I mean? They're going to have to stop us, and if we just take care of business like we have been, everything's going to fall into place. You think so?
Yeah, that's what we every day in practice. We always talk about fixing us and improving, and that's the focus again this week is just continue to work on us. The kids here always talk about it doesn't matter who we play, it's how we play, and we're just going to continue to go in that direction.
Well, we'll see how things play out. I mean, you do have a common opponent in Oakland U compared to last year. Oakland U beat them 44-0 last year, so you guys kind of flipped that script when it came to playing Oakland U to start the season. They beat Pitt, the team you played this weekend, beat Eastern Michigan last year 20-0. And they've got matchups against those teams later on. So as we kind of close this out, what is it that you want to do? What is it that is your mantra heading into this week, even if it should turn into, maybe not as competitive maybe as you would like? What are your marching orders, and what do you want to see out of this team that is going to be better than before?
So we talked about last week starting fast, and we got out of the gate. We started fast this week. So we want to do that again this week. We don't want to push that away and focus on the next. We got to continue to focus on the things we've accomplished in the past. So we want to start fast, but we want to finish strong. And when I say finish strong, it's not just the last 10 minutes of the game. It's finishing every play strong. There were some plays throughout this past weekend that we felt we left on the field just through an effort standpoint. So we want to continue to grow in that, give 100% effort all the time, take advantage of every time we get to play football.
All right. So if this was the national thing, if these games were counting right now, LTU's defense would rank number 1 in the NAIA. So I think that's something you guys can, and that's in yards allowed per game.
Right. Yep.
After holding Pitt to -5 for the whole contest, Blue Devils are limiting opponents to 115.3 yards per game in total. Next closest defense is Siena Heights, holding teams to about 172 yards per outing. You have had 2 different 100-yard rushers through the 3 games. That's depth. In game 2, Tanner Foley went for 148 yards, and again, Kyle Terry had 108 and a touchdown in this one. So we'll see who are the stars that will be coming out of this game and who we'll talk about next week right here on the show. But again, if fans are interested in checking out this week's game, this is one of the road games you can travel to, unless you want to go all the way up to northern Michigan or Indiana. What time is the game, and where can they buy tickets?
Noon, and then noon and on the website.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah,
It's all good.
It's through Eastern, so I'm not sure. It may be free. I'm not 100% sure on that. So
there you go. You can do the research yourself. Show up at noon. You get in for a few bucks, or it's free. So that is once again the LTU Football Coaches Show. presented by Lawrence Technological University. We appreciate you guys coming out here every night. We had a good house tonight. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m., we're here talking Lawrence Tech football, and we'll talk about what took place against Eastern Michigan coming up next week. So, Coach, thank you for being here. Coach, thank you for being here. Thanks to the guys who were here. Again, get out a lot of drink and food specials every Tuesday night here at Shields Pizza. We appreciate them for supporting us and hosting and being our venue so that we can bring you everything happening in LTU football. That is it for now. Go Blue Devils.